Hey everyone, and welcome to this one-off video. I suppose you could call this a challenge, but basically I wanted to try and get the lowest possible stats, and I was curious as to what the lowest possible stats are. And if you take a look at here, I'll show them straight away. You'll see I've got 1 HP, 1 MP, and then 0 attack, defense, speed, and brains. Well, basically, to summarize, I started a new game. As you can see, I've only had 2 raised Digimon. I started off with Agumon, who Digivolved to Centauromon and Digivolved to Guromon, and I used the gym and everything. I did it properly. I pretty much completed the game. Then I decided I wanted to try and get the lowest possible stats. So I got my Tamer level down to 0, because when your Digimon fades away, when you start with a new Digimon, the lower your Tamer level is, the lower your stats are when you start. So I picked the pink egg, started off with an in-training Digimon, and obviously I had very low stats due to my Tamer level, and I also made sure I was only 1 care mistake away from Digivolving into Sukamon, because when you Digivolve into Sukamon, your stats halve. And so I got a care mistake very early on, Digivolved straight into Sukamon, my stats halved. I then fed him a gold banana, and he Digivolved to Etemon. And when you Digivolve naturally, your stats increase, but when it's through an item, your stats stay the same. And so, when my stats were halved, those were the stats that I had when I basically Digivolved into Etemon. I then repeatedly had care mistake after care mistake, Digivolve back into Sukamon, my stats halved again, I then fed him another gold banana, back into Etemon, stats remained halved, and then basically care mistake, Sukamon again. I kept going and going and going until my stats got down to what they are now. It has taken quite a while. As you can see, he's 36, which is quite old. But I managed to keep him alive by catching black trouts, then catching sea basses, then feeding them to him, and that basically stopped him from dying. And obviously I've got a gold banana here, and I've been getting the gold bananas from Etemon. You may think it's quite tedious fishing, getting loads of black trouts and sea basses, but then I'm the person who's got a Mega Seedramon who's over 100. I uploaded a video for that as well, and obviously I got Mega Seedramon over 100 by feeding him sea basses, so obviously I am quite used to catching loads and loads of fish and stuff. So yeah, stats down to 1, however, they can go lower than that. HP and MP themselves can also creep down to 0. If you take a look at my care mistake gorge, you'll see that it's full, therefore another Sukamon is due. I've now got Sukamon, and his stats have now all gone down to 0. I'm now going to get Etemon back. So I've now got Etemon, and my stats is still 0. Absolutely everything is 0. So yeah, I can't remember exactly what my stats were when I started off with the baby Digimon. I can't imagine they were a tremendous amount, and basically every time I've been getting the Sukamon, they've been halving. And obviously, if you've got an even number of stats, then obviously it's easy to halve them, because they just halve to whatever they halve to. When you've got an odd number of stats, for example, if you've got, say, 101 HP, for example, they would halve it, which is 50.5, and they would then round it down to 50. They always round it down, and so if I had, say, 15 HP, then it would be halved to 7.5 and then rounded down to 7. Eventually my stats got down to about 3 or something, and then they were obviously halved, which is 1.5, but then rounded down to 1, and then when my stats got down to 1, they were halved again. Half is 0.5, and they were rounded down to 0. So I've got 0 of everything. And despite having 0 of everything, he can still walk, eat, sleep, use the bathroom or toilet, whatever. And you see, he's still running about like he's a normal Digimon. But I'd like to show you what happens when you get into a battle. Put 0 of everything, get straight into a battle. Now this would be the most basic battle ever. But what do we do when we've got 0 of everything? It's an interesting question. Well, the answer's simple. You die on the spot. You've got absolutely no fight in you at all. The most useless stats ever. You can't do anything. Now I know that there's an item which actually, when you basically faint, I know there's an item which actually brings you back during a battle. Well, when you like lose a battle and basically you're, you know, on the ground and your count's ticking down, I know there is an item which does actually bring you back. I'm just going to see if I can get it from a shop, because it'd be interesting to see what happens when you use one. I would imagine that you would just get back up and then fall back down. So I'm just going to see if I can get hold of them. No, and I wouldn't be able to afford it anyway. I'm just going to get hold. I'm going to try and get hold of those items, and I'll try and add it on, and just so you can see what happens. Right, I did actually manage to get hold of them thanks to Yuramon, though I had to sell most of my other stuff to be able to afford them. So yeah, let's just give this a try. So he faints, so we use one, gets back up, and he faints. Get back up. I think it's fair to say that I have got the most useless Digimon in the world. Well, not the most useless Digimon, but the most useless stats. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why I did this, just entertainment purposes, I guess. Yeah, that's all there is to it, really. Just, it's interesting to see that the finish score is still filling, even though I've got nothing in me. Actually, from the looks of things, he's actually faded away. That's probably a good thing. Like I said, I'm not quite sure why I did this. I guess I did it just for entertainment purposes, really. I wanted to see how low my stats could get, and obviously I got a useless Etemon, he got thrashed in fights, and then he, after losing a fight, he then faded away, which is weird, because normally you don't fade away immediately after losing a fight, but... And my stats have actually increased, and not very often that happens when you fade away. Those are probably the stats I started off with, to be honest. So yeah, so that was that. I hope you got entertainment out of it. I mean, it was for entertainment purposes, so yeah, thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed.